All right, Happy New Year, everyone. We're stepping into 2022 with all sorts of strategies, power, information, everything to make our life easier and more purposeful and less stressful. So today I'm welcoming one of my favoriteest people in the whole world. It's my hubby, Jeff Weber.
Hey everybody, Happy New Year.
So, for those of you that don't know, Jeff and I have been together almost 19 years,
Approaching 19 years.
and he's a Canadian, so please forgive him.
I'll
Oh,
try not to say
or
A too many
or
times.
I'm an American, so please forgive me. But we met because of some really powerful choices we made. And although it felt really uncomfortable and really crazy, we stepped right into it and we've been stepping in it since. But I have to admit, we've really created a very interesting and meaningful life for ourselves and for our daughter. So when we were talking the other day, Jeff and I were talking about the holidays and how different everything has been. And just watching all of those around us who had all these plans and had all these ideas of what the holidays would look like. And things haven't quite worked out for everybody the way we hoped. It feels like we were going to step into 2022 with changes and purpose and grace. And in some ways, it feels worse than it did before. And one of the concepts Jeff came up with, we were talking about the great resignation and everything going on in the world. And Jeff mentioned the idea of
Great letdown.
the great letdown. And I just thought that was brilliant. So I wanted to take a few minutes and interview Jeff here for our podcast and talk to him about what he means by that. So, honey, what do you mean by that?
Well, Colleen, great question. Thanks for asking. No, the great letdown is a term I use for the time essentially after the holiday season is over and until spring really starts. This is not a new concept. I use the name letdown instead of depression because of the connotations with depression, but there are a bunch of similarities with that. For example, the holidays are now over. It's New Year's Day as we're doing this recording. Christmas is over, New Year's is over, whatever holidays you celebrate, most of them are over. Now what? In a lot of places, at least in the northern hemisphere, we still have a lot of darkness. The weather tends to be colder right now, even though in Virginia we haven't even seen snow yet. That might be different this year. The letdown is what we experience because we don't have things to look forward to the same way. Some people have been planning for months. For example, the Christmas decorations started being available for sale back in October before Halloween happened here in our area. There was literally 2 or more months of buildup of anticipation. We could start decorating whenever. We can buy the decorations. We can start Christmas shopping. We can the New Year's party, the big New Year's blast. We're going to kick 2021 out the door and welcome 2022 in. Well, that's all past us right now. And then part of the thing to think about is, did it work the way you wanted it to? As Colleen mentioned, maybe you're the situation where the kids were coming home or the family was coming to your place and now they're gone.
Or their flights were canceled, or somebody got sick, right?
That
We've
could be
talked to
that
a
could be
lot of
part of it.
people, yeah.
Throw into that possibilities of differences of opinion. Politics is always a great subject to get into when you're at holiday gatherings, and I'm sure you've had this experience or at least witnessed it. So maybe things didn't turn out quite the way you wanted them to.
Is that wrong, though? Because I know I had some expectations, too, having our first Christmas together as a little family. And there was some disappointment, even though we tried to strategize. So is it wrong to...
I don't think it's wrong. I think it's just being aware of what's happening now or possibly about to happen for you. Maybe everything worked out perfectly for you. Maybe your Christmas holiday season was great. Maybe New Year's was a blast. Maybe you were the one who went home and had somebody take care of you for the last week or more.
That'd be
And,
nice.
and all of a sudden now you're back to wherever your home is and you're missing those connections, those people, mom's home cooking, something like that. So what happens now? And this is where the great letdown tends to come into play. Some people are affected by the seasons, seasonal affective disorder. There's plenty of different techniques you can do with this. What's most important is to be aware of it for yourself. Once you're aware of it, then you can take steps to change it.
Okay, so I'm going to embrace that things weren't quite the way I wanted. I would do different maybe next year. I think I said we're just going to go away and somebody's going to cook and clean and decorate for me. What can I do now to change it? That's kind of a dream. It's not a reality. What are my strategies to get through the next few months?
I think that's the key, is you've got to have some strategies to get through the next few months. Typically, North Americans take a vacation sometime January, February, March. That may be hard depending on where you are or where you're going with COVID restrictions.
And finances and everything else hitting right now,
Finances,
right?
a lot of people, their hours have been cut back. What I think you need to do, the most important thing, is to come up with some techniques. I can give you some examples. I cannot fix it for you. You have to take responsibility for yourself on this.
This is Coach Jeff talking right now, and this is very typical Coach Jeff, which is we have to be accountable for our own decisions and our actions. He's just there as kind of a sounding board and reflect back. So it can be really hard when you're married to Coach Jeff, but he always helps me get through this kind of stuff. So
You're welcome, honey.
give me, that was not a thank you. Give me some examples then.
So, a couple of examples that, again, you'll have to come up with what works for you. If you can join some sort of a sport or a team, the bowling league, now is the perfect time to get into something like that, an event that is indoors.
Axe throwing, smashing dishes and cars at those smash places.
Anything like that.
Okay.
But I would suggest schedule it and schedule it out. Don't wait until you're in the middle of the letdown. You're feeling depressed, you're feeling lonely, whatever it may be. Don't wait till you get there. Right now, start booking. Book some friends and say, hey, mid-January or late January, let's schedule this. Let's put it on the calendar
Like a
right
hiking
now.
group or gardening group, even getting ready for gardening and prepping.
Anything
Could you
like
create
that.
your own thing? Or?
Take a class online. Take a multi-week class online. Learn something new, whether it be artistic, creative, anything that you can do right now to give yourself something to look forward to.
And put it on the calendar.
Put it on the calendar.
And be accountable for it, right?
Yeah, be accountable
Make sure you
for
show
it.
up. Because I know you do beekeeping classes and things like that, even though it's not really bee season.
No, a
You
lot of
still
that
learn.
starts now so that when it does become the proper season, you're ready for it.
Okay, so put things on the calendar, have strategies, be around other people. These are things I'm hearing you say, like having something to look forward to get you through the darkness, right?
That's right.
The
Reach out to some of your best friends and say, hey, let's schedule time to talk.
And we all know this. I mean, this isn't new information. It's just reminders because this is part of the cycle. And if we're ready for it, we do the right things, it can make a difference, right?
Definitely. Again, there's nothing we can do to guarantee. Like I said, I can't fix it. Colleen can't fix it. But at least we can try.
But I want to thank you, honey, and Coach Jeff for giving us some ideas, reminders, strategies, insights, because I can feel it coming too. Okay, New Year's is done. What do I do now? I'm going to clean up Christmas. Well, then what? Like, it's just, now I got to go back to work. Then what? Right? So having something to look forward to really does make sense for me. So I appreciate that. All right. So thank you very much. You
You're
guys
welcome.
have a wonderful rest of the New Year's weekend, and we will connect again soon. Take care.
And all the blessings to 2022 to you.
Definitely. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jeff.